You, of course, have playoff basketball tonight, Cavs and Nets in the 7-8 play-in game. Yankees and their lifeless offense get back on the field tonight against the Blue Jays with Nasty Nestor on the mound. And the Mets see if they can find somebody in their bullpen to hold a late-inning lead against those Weasels from Philadelphia as you go against your former player, Zach Wheeler. A lot's cooking, and, of course, the news of the day. But first, good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
How are you?
I'm doing... Oh, it's like that already?
What?
I see what's going on.
What?
You blow one lead. You collapse in the 8th inning. You're worried about tonight's basketball game because you don't believe in your team just yet, as hopeful as you are, and you come in melancholy. I got you. That's why I'm here.
Maybe I'm just melancholy.
You're just melancholy?
Maybe I'm just in a
You're
melancholy
nervous.
mood.
You didn't eat lunch. You're pacing all over the place. Game time is still 5-6 hours away, whatever it is, and you don't know what to do. Now, that being said, you know, there are times on this show, and every show, I guess, when real life intersects with sports talk, right? Because there's a lot of sports talk today, easy stuff. You know, the Met collapse last night, DD getting the big hit with 2 strikes on him. The New York Yankees having no offense whatsoever, although they got really good pitching last night against such a good offense of the Toronto Blue Jays. And you wake up today to the threat of, oh my God, was there a terrorist attack on New York again? Because the information came in slowly, and a lot of it was not accurate when it first came in about the possibility of undetonated bombs in the subway system and all that. And as bad as it is, it certainly could have been a lot worse with the loss of life and with potential explosives throughout the subway system. But here's where it's intersecting in a very strange way for me. You're going to tonight's Nets game.
I was also in Brooklyn this morning. I was driving
Parking your car, right?
I was driving to Brooklyn to park my car so I could make the game. The game's at 7 o'clock. And my plan was to drive to Barclays Center, park my car, and take the subway.
Yeah.
And as I'm driving there, I'm listening to the morning show, and Jerry Recco interjected in the middle of a sports update and said there was a shooting in Brooklyn.
Right.
That's all I knew. No offense to those guys. I flipped over to the news stations.
I'm sure many people did.
To find out what the hell was going on. I promptly get a call from my wife. Like, are you at the subway? Where are you going? And I said, look, I think I'm going to change my plan now. Because I think like most people, I hear there's a shooting on the subway. The last place I want to be is the subway.
Right.
So I parked my car, and I did go into the subway. And I never felt as safe. And you know why?
Well, by the time you got there, that's when NYPD showed up in force,
But that's
right?
the thing, man. When I look around and I see the NYPD, and I can't thank these people enough, because the guys and gals that go to work every day and put their life on the line, my God, thank you. But going down to that subway, and then eventually I left the subway and took a taxi.
Okay.
But I just wanted to see, because I'm in New York, I want to see what the hell was going on. And I think the amount of NYPD that was there, for me personally, made me feel safe.
Good.
Well, made me think, okay, things are under control. But the problem is, you got some psycho that they still haven't caught.
Well, this is where I'm getting at. So the Brooklyn Nets play a playoff game tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers in Brooklyn, less than a mile away from the specific subway stop that this deranged lunatic took over today with a smoke bomb and some type of gun, right? In which more than 13 people now have been taken to the hospital. One critical, but apparently not going to die. Right?
And thank God for that, man, because when that news first came out, we're fearing a lot worse.
But here's my question. I just want to let's keep it real. Like, we're just a couple guys from New York here, right? And they're going to play the game tonight. They should play the game tonight, but they haven't caught the guy yet. And my question is, for you as a New Yorker, you know, the New York Yankees are home tonight. A lot of people are going to go to that game via mass transit. That's the way we travel in New York City, right? You're going to get on a subway most likely after work and go to Brooklyn to watch the Nets play. My question is, if you're someone that has a ticket to tonight's Yankee game, to tonight's Rangers game at the Garden, they play the Hurricanes tonight. The Islanders are home tonight at UBS. The Nets are home tonight in Brooklyn. Are you comfortable going to the game still with the guy at large? Because this is where real life transcends sports, because you are talking between the Rangers, 18,000, the Islanders, 13,000, that's 31,000. Let's say 30,000 at Yankee Stadium, that's 61,000. And let's call it 18,000 in Brooklyn tonight. You're talking about 80,000 New Yorkers, many of which have to get on a train or a subway to go to these different venues. The guy's out there still. Are you going?
The subway part freaks me out.
It has to.
I mean, the only thing that made me feel good is when I went down and it was at the Barclays Center subway stop, that there were more NYPD than people there.
So you're talking right across from the entrance.
Yeah,
right on
across
Atlantic
from the
Avenue.
entrance.
Got it.
But
Yep.
when you're traveling in rush hour, that's not going to be the case. You're not going to be outnumbered by the NYPD.
Now, you'll see more than you normally see for sure.
Sure, no doubt.
To your point, it's not going to be 5-1.
I think for me personally, I'm going to the Nets game tonight. I feel comfortable going to the Nets game because I think when you go to any sporting event nowadays, there's so much security to get in. You got to go through a metal detector to get inside Barclays.
Right, and people have been already complaining about Yankee Stadium with the Red Sox series that the line just to walk in the building was obscene.
Look, this isn't the day to debate security lines at sporting events, but they're usually really bad and they're usually worth complaining about. On a day like today, actually makes you feel safe.
Yeah,
it's
weird. Like, there's the old tough guy rhetoric of, I'm not going to let them change my way of life. Them, in this case, appears to be one lone lunatic. But that lone lunatic can hurt people.
Right.
And did today.
And they haven't caught the lone lunatic.
So I just there comes a point where, hey, put the tough guy crap aside. You've got a wife, you've got kids, you've got whatever it is you got going on. The guys out there, and when things like this happen, sadly, there are copycat guys out there that want the attention also. You have 80,000 New Yorkers going to 4 different venues tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would go.
Yeah, so from my end of things, would I go on a subway tonight at 6:30 like my original plan if I didn't have a wife and kids? I probably would.
Okay.
But I also know, and I got a few DMs from people saying, is your wife letting you go to the game tonight?
It's a fair question.
Now, the answer is yes. She is letting me go to the game tonight. But she would not be happy if I told her, oh, by the way, I'm going underground on a subway right now.
Right.
So I think for me personally, and I'm just one of the 80,000 people that's going to go to a sporting event tonight, does it change how I get to the game? Probably.
Again, I know everyone's a tough guy. I know for a lot of people, just financially, you're not getting in a taxi cab or an Uber to go wherever it is you work to a ball game.
Right.
So I want to be respectful of that too. But I got to tell you, until that guy's caught, I don't know that I would.
It's freaky, especially.
I don't know that I would.
Especially the Barclays Center crowd because it's less than a mile away.
Yeah.
I mean, where the
It's
Nets
only a couple stops.
It's a couple. In fact, the guy I was going with tonight lives at the subway stop, but that's his subway stop. And he called me right away and said, dude, I'm out. I'm sorry, bro. Pick someone else. I'm not going to go to the game.
So there's one person already made a decision.
Yeah, buddy,
they're not going to the game tonight.
Yeah, same guy I went to Johan's no-hitter with, so I have good juju with him. He's out.
There you go.
My friend Nick said, I'm done. Sorry, pal.
I just wonder, we'll do this throughout the day today. If you have tickets to one of the 4 events tonight, Rangers at the Garden, Islanders at UBS. Maybe the Islanders are a little bit different, but a lot of people go to the Jamaica train station, transfer, and then go to UBS. I know you can't do that in reverse, but to get to the game, you can. Obviously, Yankee Stadium is what it is, and the Nets game is what it is. 80,000 people. Right now, as much as we all think we're tough guys, I ain't going. I'm not. I would not go tonight. I would, and I
you
tell
wouldn't
you,
go to the game, period, or you wouldn't go on a subway?
I'm not going to any mass gathering of people until the guy's caught.
But you don't even
And
think...
I would tell you one better.
Yeah.
I have 4 kids. 2 of them are in college, 2 are at home. If I was taking my kids to tonight's game, I wouldn't do it.
So now you're making me feel irresponsible.
No.
Should I not go?
Your family's away right now on spring break.
That doesn't mean anything.
No, listen, you got to make your own decision. I want to be clear. There's no right or wrong. There's no soapbox. There's no, listen to what I say. I wouldn't go.
No, and I respect that. You don't think, though, the things that we complain about, like the long security lines at Barclays Center and Yankee Stadium, are actually the greatest thing in the world on a night like tonight? We almost look at this. I know for a fact I'm going to miss tip-off tonight because I'm going to get to the game around 7. The lines are going to be crazy because of security lines, and I will probably miss the first quarter. And I'm okay with that.
You are now. 24 hours ago, you weren't, right? That's real, though.
I'd be pissed 13 hours ago, but now I look at it and say, you're damn right I want everybody checked on the way in.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not going. They call me every name you want to call me. I go catch the guy, which I'm sure they will. We got the best detectives in the world. Go catch the guy and let me know when he's locked up and we're all safe again.
So if the guy's caught,
and then I'll go back. And I recognize there's other crazy people out there.
Right.
But I know this guy exists. So until I know I'm safe in my car, Go home.
So if this guy's caught at 3:30, would that change your view on going to one of these games tonight?
Of course it would, yeah.
Okay.
Basically, I don't want to put any more pressure on NYPD or the FBI, who's now involved in this for sure. You got 3.5 hours to catch the guy, right? Or I'm not going.
I also have to be honest about this, Craig. If it wasn't...
Would you go to? Go ahead.
If this wasn't the 7-8 play-in game, maybe I think differently.
So if it's
regular season
Nets,
game,
Knicks, Barclays, you going?
Nets, Knicks is different. If it's a regular Nets, Rockets game, maybe I pass. Maybe I
so
say,
you're going
you know
as much because this is one of the reasons I make this investment.
Yeah,
I want to see the playoffs.
It's an important game.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the sports stuff from last night, because we'll get into that too. But and if you listen, if you're thinking about this right now, I want you to call us on either side. I don't care. I just want to hear how you process what to do. It's your life, and you only get one of them. 877-337-6666. Meanwhile, listen, a recap from last night for the sake of the 18 hours that have gone by without between it happening and us coming on the air. I know you're upset. You have every right to be upset. The Mets collapsed last night in the 8th inning. That was embarrassing. And to do it against a team that we all hate and a city we hate is just, adds salt to the wound last night.
Well, no, the bigger problem with the Mets is how is it going to change?
Okay.
When we talked a month ago about, hey, what are your biggest concerns about the Mets? My answer was always consistently the bullpen. If Seth Lugo is going to be as ineffective as he was last night, and he wasn't the same guy a year ago, if Joely Rodriguez can't get righties out, and guess what? He can't get righties out. If Trevor May's not going to be healthy, sure, having Edwin Diaz is a big help. I ask you, how is this bullpen not going to be a hindrance to this team?
No, it's going to be. Yeah.
Look, I mentioned this before. Aaron Loop was the main reason why the Met bullpen was competent last year. You take away Aaron Loop's historic season last year, the Met bullpen was mediocre at best. Last night, Taijuan Walker was brilliant for 2 innings. Luckily, he's okay. It looks like he came out of this MRI clean. David Peterson did a stupendous job. So if you kind of look at them as a tag team, they got a great start. Because both are starting pitchers, right? Yep. They got 6 great innings from their quote-unquote starters. They got clutch hitting. They took advantage of Alec Boehm being afraid of ground balls being hit to him. They scored enough runs. They didn't score a ton of runs. They scored enough runs. Their defense was great. How about Pete Alonso with some of the scoops?
Yep.
They lost this game because of their bullpen. And what scares the crap out of me is that I'm not sure in the middle of May or June or August it's going to be that much better. I don't know what Seth Lugo is anymore. So this isn't about ripping Buck. I don't think Buck did much wrong last night. It's about the horses in that Met bullpen, and this could be a bugaboo all year.
Yeah, it's what you guys were fearful of. Meanwhile, the Yankees gave you a typical Yankee performance from last year. Pitching got the job done. Can't argue with that at all. Only gave up 3 runs to a great offense and listless offensively. I mean, listless. Like they had no interest whatsoever in hitting the ball or scoring runs last night, and they didn't. And that's exactly what we saw last year when they were at their worst. They'd get decent pitching. Bullpen came through big time, and there's no offense whatsoever. Aaron Judge got booed again last night. That's going to be a refrain throughout the year, and it happened last night. Everything I said that I didn't want to happen happened last night. They made a switch late, and Gleyber Torres went to shortstop. And I know it made sense considering the switch they made late in the game.
Well, why are you pinch hitting for Marwin Gonzalez and not Kyle Higashioka? Well, that's a fair question.
That's a different question, yeah. So I've already lost. I've already lost on my desire to keep Gleyber at second base. I've already lost.
Well,
and I can't call Cashman today because I talked to him yesterday.
There was a moment in this game that you could argue is the biggest moment of the game. It's the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's 3-0 Blue Jays. They just scored the 2 runs on the Springer home run, and they have the bases loaded and 2 outs for Giancarlo Stanton. And Giancarlo Stanton breaks his bat and hits one in the hole. I look up and say, infield hit. I mean, it's an infield hit. Yeah. He's going to beat it. Okay. 2-1 game. Here comes Joey Gallo in a big spot. And Stanton is not only thrown out, he's thrown out by a couple of feet. And if you watch the replay on this, and this is complicated, it's not open and shut. He's not running hard. Is he not running hard because he's lazy? No. He's not running hard because they're so deathly afraid he's going to pull a hamstring.
Yeah, it's almost like he's not allowed to.
So it's a weird...
Sorry, run your ass to first base. Let's go.
It's a weird moment, Craig, because You need him healthy. We all agree on that. You cannot have Giancarlo Stanton pull a calf muscle or pull a hammy. You can't have it happen. But that moment in this game was significant because if he beats it out, it's
bases
2-1,
loaded, pressure.
The game is different. So there's no right answer here. I understand those who say, come on, Giancarlo, run your ass off like you just said. But I also understand the aspect of we have to keep him healthy. But that moment early in the game was one of those moments that you looked at and said, you're going to remember this. It was early, but it was significant.
877-337-6666. All your calls coming up. What would you do tonight? You got 4 major sporting events. 80,000 New Yorkers are expected to attend, but there's a bomber out there, a shooter out there who has not yet been caught. I shouldn't say bomber. I take that back. A shooter. No bombs involved in this at all. I want to be very straight about that. That was the initial report. That was not true. The guy was a shooter, and 16 people now have been taken to the hospital. I would not go. I'm going home. I'm locking my doors. And I'm going to wake up tomorrow and live to fight another day.